Before that, I've been injured more than 100 times during my career from the age of 7 to 32. From dislocating my hip at 11 years old, to being stretchered off in Twickenham in front of all my friends and family, to currently having a torn tendon in my shoulder. And if you play sport, it's inevitable that you've picked up some injuries yourself. It's all part of the risk and reward, particularly in rugby, as it's a contact sport. I've been lucky enough to be heavily rewarded by sport. It's how I make my living, giving me friends, opportunities to travel, improve my mental well-being no end, and so many cool experiences like going to an Olympics. With my rugby career and my medical background, here's 5 of my best tips, building up to my favourite at the end, that will help you bounce back after a rugby injury. Let's go!
And the doctor is in the house.
We've all done this. You get given a bunch of exercises by the physio. The first week or so, you do them perfectly. Every exercise, every set, every rep, every amount of time that you need to do. But as those days and weeks go on, we get a little bit bored, we get a little bit lazy with it, and this is where you need to check yourself. By missing those sets, those reps, or not doing it properly, you're just gonna end up prolonging your injury period, or even worse, getting re-injured again. And trust me, I've done this before. Physios are brilliant at getting you back to full health and getting in front of future problems. They'll often give you exercises while you're injured on different parts of your body, because it's a good chance to work on your general physical state. As an example, with my shoulder injury, I'm doing work on my calf and my ankle to make sure I'm ready to go when I can return to play. They'll also often give you exercises to work on the muscle groups or the joints that are above or below your injury, because they can be put under strain from the injury or from just not being used. As an example, if you had a hamstring injury, then you might have some problems in your glutes, in your lower back, or in your calves. Do these exercises because often these secondary injuries can come at the worst times. As an example, I ended up tearing my calf in the first week of the Tokyo Olympics while I was recovering from another injury. So do what the physio says, stay disciplined with it, and it'll get you back on the pitch more quickly. Even though you're injured, it doesn't mean you can't still be working on aspects of your game. So look for those skills that you can still do around your injury. As an example, with my shoulder injury, I can still work on my kicking, and this is helping me stay motivated and engaged for my recovery. Often, hand-eye drills are really simple and easy to do while you're injured and will really help you when you go back to play. The second part of this is looking for workarounds so you can stay somewhat active while you're injured. So if you can't sprint, can you jog? If you can't jog, can you walk? If you can't do any of these, could you cycle? Could you ski erg? Could you swim? Could you just use the arms on the assault bite? Anything just to raise that heart rate a little bit, get a bit of a sweat on, and release some endorphins. Like I said, that's always really helped me. But there are some injuries where just none of these are possible, and it's completely fine to take that time to rest. It might be a week, a month, or whatever, but eventually you'll get to that point when you can start a little bit of exercise. When you're injured and you can't train or play, you're missing out on your regular fun, mental stimulation, and social interaction. It's really important you fill these gaps for your overall well-being. I've found it's useful to put time into a current hobby or find a new one altogether. It could be related to rugby, such as coaching or content creation, or what I often find works better, just finding a new hobby altogether. You'll obviously be partly dictated by your injury of what you can do, but here's some examples of hobbies you could pick up. Cooking, baking, hiking, a musical instrument, drawing, painting, reading. Set yourself a goal or a target in your new hobby and then work towards it. This will shift your focus and allow you to stay positive during your recovery. At the moment, I'm learning new patterns and designs on Adobe Illustrator to create different t-shirts for my clothing line, Borodar Clothing. I absolutely love doing this and creating designs and seeing them getting printed and then people wearing them and buying them. Let me know what you think of this first design that I made last year. I'm looking to create more over the next 6 months to a year. If you'd like to get a t-shirt yourself, you can head to thisissevens.com. The Penultimate tip is making sure you stay on top of your nutrition and sleep while injured. Firstly, with your nutrition, you want to make sure your diet has enough proteins, carbohydrates, healthy fats, vitamins and minerals to give your body enough of the building blocks to help it get over your injury. If your overall physical exertion while you're injured, i.e. how much energy you're expending each day, has dramatically decreased, then you probably want to bring down the amount of carbohydrates you have each day by a little bit. This is also tied in with knowing that your body is probably going to change while you're injured. So due to you not being able to train, you're probably going to lose a bit of your muscle mass and put on a little bit of fat. And this can be really tough to take when you've worked so hard to build your body into a certain physique. But take solace in knowing that if you've been able to do it before, you'll be able to do it again. It's not going to be easy and going to take a bit of time, but just know you will get back to that same physical condition as you were before. And in terms of sleep, especially when you're injured, it's really important you do your best to get 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep. This is when your body will do its best work in helping you recover. So try to get yourself a good nighttime routine, and things like alcohol or social media use just before bed don't help with this. And finally, my favorite tip, but perhaps the most important, is our mentality around getting injured. How you approach an injury can massively speed up or slow down your recovery. We can't always control what happens to us when we get injured, but we can always control how we react to it, and this can change everything. Getting injured is often a really emotional time. It's painful, it disrupts your life, it takes aspects of it away, and it's completely normal to feel sad and angry about this. But being able to acknowledge that these emotions are completely normal, process them and then accept them will allow you to move forward with your recovery in the best way possible. I've done it and I've seen teammates do it but get really frustrated and angry with themselves around the time of the injury. But you've got to be kind to yourself sometimes and just acknowledge that these things happen, they're part of the game, and being angry with yourself isn't going to get you anywhere. I've always found it really useful to talk to teammates, friends, family, coaches, physios, anybody that you can sit down and have a chat with and just talk through how you're feeling. It's particularly useful talking to teammates who have maybe had similar injuries because they can help pass on some knowledge from their own experience. But the bottom line is, don't bottle it up, don't get angry with yourself, just talk to someone about it. Particularly for longer injuries, it's very normal to have that feeling of being lost. And I've always found it really useful to have a note or write down your reasons why for playing the sport and doing what you do. Those days then where you're feeling lost and it feels so far away when you might be playing again, it will help you stay motivated and on track. But an easy pitfall to fall into is always wishing for and hoping for this day to come and not being in the present, in the day-to-day. So I've always found it useful with your mentality just to concentrate on what can I get done today and how can I do it to the best of my ability. And very simply, this could be just resting, it could be doing your exercises, or could be doing some other recovery protocol like ice baths. Concentrating on the day-to-day processes that you can do will really help when setbacks happen, and they probably will happen with a longer injury. No timeline's the same, no recovery's the same, and these setbacks are bound to happen. But if you're concentrating just on the day-to-day, you're much less likely to be derailed. The time you spend injured can be really rewarding with the right mindset. It can teach you about your motivating factors, how you react to things as a person, maybe even help you find new hobbies. So when you are injured, particularly when it's a long one, look to stay positive throughout it and just stick to those day-to-day tasks. And one final thought to leave you with before the end of the video, and it's around knowing when it's the right time to stop playing rugby. Due to the nature of the sport of rugby with the contact, you rarely get to decide, and it's often things like injuries which will stop you. So I've been thinking about this a lot lately, and there's definitely more to life after rugby. And one thing for me, I've never wanted to be one of these players that hangs on to the very end and eventually your body is ruined by the time you stop. I think there's so much more to life after rugby, and for me a big driving force is being able to do things when I eventually have kids. So something just to think about. I've been thinking about it in the latter half of my career. If you're in a similar stage, maybe something to think about. In the comments, let me know some of your best tips with dealing with injuries. If you have any questions, also drop them in a comment below. But diolch yn fawr for watching, and I'll see you next week.